Hi guys, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be talking about calories. How to work out your calories and then how to break those calories down into proteins, carbs and fats. And by the end of this video, hopefully each and every one of you watching is going to have a fair idea of how to do that. So let's get started. Now this is quite a complex topic. There's a lot of factors involved, but I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. I'm going to give you guys 3 ways to work out your calories, okay? Now the first way is using an online calculator. Now there's loads of them out there. The best one that I like using is the Harris-Benedict equation. And it's quite easy. You're just going to punch your data into an online calculator. I'm going to use myself as an example. So let me just get onto Google. Right, so what he asks for is your weight, your height, your age, your sex, and then he gives you your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. So like I said, I'll input my figures. So I weighed in today, this morning, 157 pounds, which is 71 kg. Okay, so 71 kg. My height is 165 centimeters. I am 42 years young, male. And what he's telling me is my BMR, my basal metabolic rate is 1593 calories. Now that figure there, BMR, is the calories that I need just to stay alive. If I was just sitting here doing nothing, then that's the calories I need just to survive. Now obviously, no one's going to be sitting here. I hope no one's going to be sitting here all day doing nothing. Everyone's got work to do. You're going to be eating, that burns calories, moving around burns calories, exercise as well burns calories. So what we need to work out is our total energy expenditure. So total daily energy expenditure. So that depends on what job you have. So you might be sitting down all day at an office, or you might be a builder or a manual labourer and you're walking around, working hard all day. That's going to affect your calories. And also it depends on how many times a week you exercise, the intensity of the exercise, etc, etc. So for myself, I'm going to put in hard exercise 4 to 5 times a week. And that's going to give me a figure for my total energy expenditure. And it's 2748. I'm just going to round off to 2750. That's the calories that I need each day just to stay at my current weight. And that's taking into account my job, it's taking into account the amount of exercise that I'm doing. But this is just an average, okay guys? Now this figure can vary quite a bit. So they've calculated 2750, but it can vary from 2500 to 3000. Okay, that's just an average. But it's a good start for someone that doesn't know how many calories to take. They can just go onto Google, type some figures in, and you get an answer. Okay? Now, if I was to gain weight, if I wanted to gain weight, I would add 500 to that. And if I wanted to lose fat, I would subtract, let me get this right, I would subtract 500 from that figure. Now, why 500? Now, if you're trying to lose weight, then around £1 a week is a good figure. 1 to 2 pounds a week is a good figure. Now, if to lose £1 of fat a week, you need to have a 500 calorie deficit per day. Okay? £1 of fat, the energy in £1 of fat is 3,500 calories. And to lose £1 a week, we divide that figure by 7 and you get 500. So to lose £1 a week, £1 of fat a week, we need to drop our calories by 500. Okay? So that's one method. That's the first method, the Harris-Benedict equation. And it's okay, you know, it's not 100%, but it does give you a figure that you can start working along with. So I can take that 2750 figure, I can try for a week or two, and if my weight's holding steady, I wanted to lose weight, I can drop the calories by a few hundred and then continue to monitor experiment and take it from there. Now the second method is the best method, okay? But it does require quite a bit more work from yourselves. And what you have to do is, for 2 weeks, everything that you eat, everything that you drink, all the calories that you consume on a daily basis, you work them out, you write it down on a piece of paper. So by the end of the 2 weeks, you get the calories, you add them all up and you divide them by 14, because there's 14 days in 2 weeks. Stay with me. And then you've got your average calories that you've been consuming for the last 2 weeks. Then you weigh yourself every single morning, okay? Without eating breakfast, butt naked, weigh yourself first thing in the morning. And if by the end of the 2 weeks your weight has stayed the same, then the calorie figure is what you need to consume. That's your maintenance calories, okay? And if you want to lose weight, you subtract the 500. If you want to gain weight, you add 500. So second method is measure everything. If I take myself as an example again for this method, at the moment my calories have been all over the place. So some days I have 2,000 calories, and some days, I junk out, I'm having 3,000 calories. Everything's all over the place. Haven't really got a routine at the moment. We're in lockdown, so I'm not going to work. I'm sitting at home. I'm making a lot of trips to the kitchen, like everybody else I suppose at the moment. So my calories are all over the place. But if I average that out, that comes to 2,500. Okay? And my weight is holding steady. So that is roughly my maintenance calories. And that is the best method. This method here is okay, but this is just an average figure taken from the data of hundreds of thousands of people. So everyone's different. You might have a faster metabolism, you might have a slower metabolism, So this is a good figure to start with, but this is the most accurate way to work out your maintenance calories. Okay? Now number 3 is pretty simple. You just get your body weight and you multiply it by 16. And that gives you your maintenance calories. So again, I'll use myself as an example. So body weight in pounds, 157 times 16, and that gives me 2,512 calories. Okay, that's a pretty decent method. But with this method, you have to be in reasonable shape. So me, I'm not holding a lot of body fat at the moment, so this will work. Now, if you're quite obese, if you're holding a lot of body fat, then that figure might be a bit high. Okay, so you might need to multiply by 14, maybe even 13, depends on how big you are. But if you're fairly lean, if you can see your abs, when you're just holding a little bit of fat, then 16 is a good figure to multiply your body weight by. Okay, so we've got our calories here. Now, as you can see, they're all pretty similar. There you have it, guys. So that's 3 ways to work out your calories, and they're all pretty much giving me roughly the same figure. Okay, that's the most accurate way. It does require a lot more effort. This one's a pretty decent way, and if you've got nothing better, then you can always use that formula as well. So we've got our calories. Now it's time to work out our macro split. So how much protein, carbs and fats to have, okay? And that is the important bit, because I can have 2,500 worth of calories coming from just chocolates and biscuits, and I'm going to look completely different, rubbish. Or I could have 2,500 worth of calories coming from chicken, rice and broccoli. And although they're both the same calories, from biscuits and cakes and chocolates and from chicken, rice and broccoli, I'm going to look completely different. So macro split is important, okay? And I'm going to run through that now. So we've got protein, carbs and fats, okay? That's the 3 macronutrients. Proteins, carbs and fats. And I'm going to use my body weight here, and I'm also going to use the average figure for my calories, which is 2,500. I'm just going to round it up to 2,500. Okay. Now protein. How much protein do we need? Everyone knows that we need protein to build muscle, but how much is the right amount? The figure 1 gram per pound normally gets thrown about, and that's a pretty decent figure, to be honest, but not everyone's protein requirements are the same. Okay. Now me working out 5-6 times a week, hard intense weight training sessions where I'm breaking down the muscle fibers, will probably need a gram of protein per day. But someone that just works out once a week, does a bit of light weights, do they really need a gram of protein? I don't think so. So protein really, I think, should be a nice range is 0.7 grams to 1.25 grams per pound. Okay, so if you're not working out that hard, maybe you need to be on the lower end of that scale. If you're working out really hard, 5-6 times a week, you've been training for a long time, you really know how to activate those muscles, really break down the muscle fibers at the gym, then maybe you need to be at the higher end. I'm going to take myself and I'm just going to go with 1 gram. Okay, so I'm 157 pounds. Times that by 1, that gives me 157 grams of protein. There you go. And we need protein. Now the other essential macronutrient is fats. Okay, we need fats for hormone regulation, and proteins and fats are essential. Carbs we can do without. We're not going to probably feel very good without carbs, but we can do without carbs. They're not essential. Okay, fats I normally like to have your body weight in pounds times a half. Okay, and that's going to give me 78.5 grams of fats. Okay, now what we need to do is we've got our protein, we multiply that by 4 because 1 gram of protein contains 4 calories. We multiply that by 4 and we get 628 calories. Now fats, we've got 78.5 grams of fats. 1 gram of fat contains 9 calories, so we're going to multiply that by 9 and that gives us 706.5 calories. Okay, so we've got our calories from fat, we've got our calories from protein. We're going to add those two up, which is going to equal 1334.5 calories. Okay, now the remainder of the calories, which is 2,500, we can get from carbs. So let's take away 2,500 and that gives us carbs, this is getting messy, 165.5. I divide that figure by 4, that gives us 291.375. So just round it off to 291 grams of carbs per day to make up the 2,500. Okay guys, so now we've got some figures. So protein, I'm going to have 157 grams per day. Fats, I'm going to have 78.5 grams per day. And carbs, I'm going to have 291 grams per day to maintain my weight and get 2,500 calories. Okay. Now if I wanted to lose fat, I would take away 500 calories from that figure. If I wanted to gain muscle, build muscle, then I would add 500 calories to that figure. Now where would you add that and where would you subtract that from? Well, protein is going to stay the same. We're not going to touch protein. Fats, at the moment, we're going to keep that the same. We're not going to touch fats. So we're going to take or add the 500 figure to the carbs. So if I wanted to build muscle, extra 500 calories equals an extra 125 grams of carbs. Add that up to that 416 grams of carbs. Okay. Now, if I wanted to cut body fat, I will take away 500 calories. So 500 calories divided by 4, that gives me 125 grams of carbs to take away from this figure, 291, and I'm left with 166 grams of carbs. There you go, guys. So you got your calories, you got your macros. If you want to gain weight, you add 500. If you want to lose weight, you minus 500. And that is the formula. And this board is really messy now. I'll rub some of it off and I'll show you a nice easy way that I use when I'm cutting. I'll rub this off. So what I do is I get my body weight, 157 in pounds. For the protein, I just times that by 1. That gives me 157 pounds of protein. For carbs, again, I times that by 1, and that gives me 157 carbs. Okay? And for fats, I just times it by a half, and that gives me 78.5 grams of fats. And that's the formula that I use when I'm cutting weight. And in terms of calories, if you times that by 4, times that by 4, times that by 9. Times the protein by 4, you get 628 calories. Carbs again, 628 calories. The fats you multiply by 9, you get 706 calories. You add them all up and it equals 1962. You can just round that off to 2000 calories. And again, that is the figure that we discussed previously, where my maintenance was 2500, and to cut it was 2000 minus 500. To bulk it was plus 500, which was 3000. Okay, that is a nice easy way to do it. And sometimes what I like to do is, even the carbs, instead of multiplying by 1, I'll drop the carbs a bit lower, multiply by 0.8, and the fats I'll have a little higher. So instead of 0.5, I'll multiply that by 0.6. So I get slightly more fats and slightly less carbs. And that is another way I like to do it. And then what you do is you run this for 2 weeks. You monitor your body weight, if it's going up or down, and then you adjust accordingly depending on your goals. That's it, guys. It was quite a complex topic. I tried to keep it as simple as possible. I'm not sure whether I've succeeded or not, but I hope that was helpful. And if it was, give it a like, share, and make sure to subscribe, guys. It means a lot to me. Thanks a lot, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.